this is Sophie Lawson from sophielawson.com, and this is a little video where I take a look at the drawings from the little drawing challenge I'm doing called Draw a Day. And it's what you got to do is draw from your imagination something every day for a year. And currently I'm on, today is Wednesday the 4th, and we are on day 151, I think. So for this one is going to look at last month's, which is February's, and it's little penguins. And these are actually, they ended up being based off Little Peter, Little Peter the Penguin. So I'll talk about this in a minute. Before we do that, I just wanted to say I've got a new book today, which I cannot wait to do a quick look of. It's called The Art of Anne Stokes, Mystical, Gothic and Fantasy. I know nothing about this artist. It's just I saw this cover on eBay. I think I was looking for webcams, and I saw this, and I just thought I need to get that. So that's going to be a quick look in the future, probably, well, in a few weeks' time. So I can't wait for that. But this here, we're going to be looking at these little penguins. I've got some notes, but what I'm going to do is go through the drawings, and then if I didn't talk about the things in the notes, I'll talk about them after that. And I'm also going to go through my sketchbook. Let's get into this. So for the month of February, we had little penguins, and what was it? January was otters. So what I do on the last day of the month is I sort of introduced the new character with the old one. So this was the final otter on the 31st of January. Bing! And, oh, I've just forgot something. I haven't got Rebecca Barrett's. Wait a minute. So Rebecca Barrett, I'm doing this little art challenge with, I can't even get into the thing. I'm doing this little art challenge with Rebecca Barrett, and you can find Rebecca Barrett on Instagram at Instagram, I think it's rebecca.barrett. There she is, look, rebecca.barrett. This is the one she did yesterday, or yeah, 150. She did this little creature. It's cool. I like that. So what I'm going to do, I shall go through little Rebecca's drawings and pick out some of my favourites for last month, which was February. So I liked this one here. You can find her at rebecca.barrett over there. This is what I love, this one. I love this little character. This little mouse, he keeps popping up. He keeps popping up. No, I'm not sharing. She's got a little funniness inside of her drawing sometimes. Oh, I love this one as well. This little character. Little chicken. The tea party. He's cool, he is. She's got some very cool, like reoccurring characters. Little penguins. I like this. She did little penguins as well. I like little penguins. I like the shape of those penguins. They're cool, they are. And you can see that little sheep. She's got a little sheep that she does. So if you want to check her out, I'll put a link in the description, because I absolutely love Rebecca Barrett, and she's the one that actually came up with the idea for this little art challenge. And I'm actually going to be putting together some blogs today, and I'm going to link to Rebecca's drawings in that as well, but I'll put all the links in the description. Let's get into this. So the first one I did for February the 1st was this little penguin here, and this little penguin here is the first one where what I did was, over the previous months I've been saying I'm struggling to draw the characters consistently, and I thought it was because I wasn't looking at reference. So what I did was, before I did this one, I looked at a reference of a penguin, and then I drew this one, and I think he's quite cool. But what happened after that was, on the 2nd of February, I came up with this idea. I thought, why don't I turn little Peter the Penguin into one of the drawings? it just randomly come into my head, and it makes me think, where do these ideas come from? Because I didn't have any thought of doing this, it just sort of randomly popped. But once I did this, I thought I really liked the shape of him. I had an idea to do, this was called the Puppet Penguin, day 120, but I had already created the idea in my head of creating little like penguins out of shapes. So the next day I did the Pointy Penguin, which is this one, but then after that all the rest of them are pretty much, they're based off of Peter the Penguin really. So this just happened naturally, but I love it. I love it a lot. So, and what's really cool is next month, which is this month, which is March, they're based off little Dennis, who's the other one of my other puppets. So that's cool. But this one, 122, the first day at school penguin. This was the 4th of February. And it's like a big one and a little one. And I like that. I can remember walking to school with my mum, and it's sort of, this one reminds me of that. He's just about to let him go off to school. He's about to find himself, he is. Little penguin. The Pink Penguin, day 123. Little penguin floating on ice. I was just practicing the shape here, and what I love is, what I've noticed is, like this little shape of Peter the Penguin, I've done it so many times now over the month that I can sort of almost do it without thinking about it. So this is what I love. It's because at first it was quite hard for me to consistently draw little Peter, but now I can almost draw him without even thinking about it. So I really like that, and it just proves that if you keep drawing the same thing over and over and over again, yeah, it gets to a point where you can just do it without thinking, and then you can start, what you can do is you can start twisting it. So one of my other struggles has been about perspective, but if you keep drawing the same thing, you start to understand how it would look in different perspectives. Doesn't mean you can draw it right, but it gets a little bit easier, I think. This one was called the Sleeping Penguin, and it's a little penguin asleep, and another one's come along to look after him, put a little blanket on him. That's cool, that is. Oh, this is my favourite one, this one. So this was day 125, the Puddle Penguin. This one, this has got to be my favouriteest penguin. Actually, I think this is my favourite little drawing I've done so far. I love this one. And what I love about this one is, I sort of come up with a new style, or colouring style. So before I was just colouring them in and trying to leave a bit of lights and darks. With this one, I started scribbling, and it reminds me of the video game Yoshi's Island, which I played years ago. But this is something else as well. There's so many cool things here. Yoshi's Island I played years ago, but now, all these years later, it's inspiring me to do this sort of style. So it just shows that everything you're doing in life, it comes together in the end. So all these video games, they will, in the end, they will find a way into your artwork. But what I love about this little puzzle penguin is, I was in my sketchbook, and I'd come up with this idea, the puzzle penguin. So I drew a puzzle shape, and then I thought, how can I turn that into a penguin? So I created these little penguins, and I thought I could have them sort of be coming together. And then what I did was I wanted to test out some colours to see what colour, because I wanted that penguin there to sort of stand out a bit more. So I knew I needed different colours. So I tested these colours, and I just for a random scribble, just to test the colours, I scribbled, and then I thought I really liked that. So it was a style that sort of just come from me really just wanting to test out some colours. And then for the rest of this challenge, I sort of tried to use that style. It's really hard to do this style though, because you have to go a lot lighter than what you think you should. So it's quite hard, and I haven't got it really good yet. But I think this is going to be sort of style I'd like to do in the future. It looks very sketchy. I'd like to try that digitally in the future. This next one, 126, was the DJ Penguin. Again, I was trying to do this scribbly style, but I like this little one. I did a DJ Worm a few months ago, and I liked him, so I thought I'd do it again. He's quite cool. I added some little penguins here. Day 127, the fishing penguin. So there's a little penguin, he's going fishing. I like the little face of the fish there. Even though he's a little simple fish, he's kind of got an expression of, what are you doing, or something. It's quite funny. That's one of my favourites as well. I quite like that one. This one, day 128, the Bookmark Penguin. It's a little penguin, has a bookmark. It's quite funny. I was thinking to myself, you could make little animal bookmarks like this. Little bits of paper, like bits of card, and the little hands, they sort of, I could imagine creating little bookmarks like that with little animals. Be quite cool. Day 129, the chilling penguin. It's a little penguin eating a little sandwich. It's just chilling. Seems quite happy. I love doing that facial expression with the eyes. I like the way that looks. Day 130 for the 12th of February, the 8-bit penguin. It's a little penguin in the 8-bit style. That was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I sort of thought that would be quite easy, but it's quite hard, that one. Again, I think that would be better to do it digitally. Oh, this one. So I was walking home from work and it was so windy that I thought, as I was walking home, I thought, oh, today's penguin is going to be the windy penguin. So it was like 50-mile-an-hour winds, which is really quite strong for England and Plymouth. And I thought I could have a little penguin in a house, and his little house is getting blown to bits. It's quite cool. The perspective's completely wrong on this, though. I didn't notice until the end, but that penguin, he should be sort of standing in that direction, so it doesn't really work. What I did was I drew the penguin first, and then I drew the house around him. So I drew them two separate things instead of drawing him inside the house. But that's something to do in the future. 132, the baby penguin. Little baby penguin. I made him darker than the big penguin so that he would pop. I like making things pop. It's quite... Oh, I like this one. Day 133, 15th of Feb, the Puddle Penguin. A little penguin, he's walked into a puddle and he's... I like that one. Simple. Oh, he looks cool with his little face. Now this one, the Russian doll penguin. This one doesn't look as good as it did in my head. What it is it's a little penguin inside of a bunch of Russian dolls or Russian penguins. So I finished this one, and then I noticed it was about a minute after I'd finished it. I thought, oh, I've done it wrong, because what it is. This is amazing, really. It's little tings. Little tings. I noticed little tings. So let's say this is the penguin here. You got the penguin there, that's what I normally do. But Russian dolls are more like this. So afterwards I thought, what I should have done was I should have made this penguin have little lines here, because then it would have looked more like this. It would have looked more like this. So it would have looked like that. And I know it's only a little thing, but that little line there, because it curves, instead of going like two separate shapes, it would be one. And I just thought, I feel like that would have made it look a lot more better. A lot more better. It would have made it look more like a Russian doll. So what I noticed was I've got to pay more attention to little things like that in the future. That's something to do in the sketchbook, I think. Day 135, the pair of penguins. Two little penguins about to embrace, and these two pop up again later. So we see what happens later on, which is quite cool. Two little penguins. Bing! So this one, I was trying to practice perspective. It's called the Exploring Penguin. We've got a little treasure chest and a penguin like flying about, swimming about. But I really had to think about this one in the perspective. In the sketchbook, I had to draw that chest. Well, this is quite good. I did some little thumbnails. I was trying to work out what would be an interesting thing for this one. But I had to draw that chest multiple times. I was trying to work out how can I get it to look like it's in perspective. It's quite hard, that is. Little things that they said on the SVS Learn is put bits of detail around the edges of things, and then the rest of it make it not as detailed, and the viewer will fill in the gaps. So I've done more sort of pebbles around the outside, and then it's got things like that. 137, the Feeding Fishies Penguin. Again, trying to practice perspective. This little penguin feeding a little fishy sat in his little boat. I quite like that one. This is my favourite one. Well, when I created this one, I thought I loved this one, but nobody really seemed to like this one. It's the Michelangelo Penguin, and it's a penguin cosplaying Michelangelo from the Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I thought this was really funny. I'd love to create a load of those, like do the full team of penguins. Maybe I'll make little Dennis be Donatello, the Donatello doggy. I might do that for this month, and then each month I could create one of the turtles as a different animal. 139, the Fuzzy Penguin. So I thought of the word fuzzy penguin, and I was trying to work out how could I have a penguin be fuzzy. So what I did was I had a little penguin bouncing on a trampoline, and I made his outside look fuzzy, which again, it's something they said on SVS Learn about making the edges. If you make the edges look fuzzy, it will make the rest of it look fuzzy or furry and stuff. This is the Kissing Penguin, which is the other two. It's those two. They're finally kissing. Quite. I like that. I like the shape of these things. They're basically just beans. They're beans with a circle on their heads, for heads. This one, it was my sister's wedding, and the day after the wedding, because it was so many people, I needed to take a time out, so I went and sat with my little tree friend, and then when I come home, I drew the tree friend penguin, which is a little penguin with his little tree friend. I quite like that. That tree feels like a human. Almost looks like a human, that one. 142, the Balloon Penguin. This is a penguin, that's a balloon, it's little Sophie. My character, little Sophie. I haven't drawn her for months. She's got a balloon penguin. Day 143, the Rainbow Penguin. So this is a rainbow. I was trying to make it look like the penguin is inside the rainbow. So I was like putting the colours of the rainbow over the top of the penguin, but I wanted that bit to look like it was in front of the rainbow, so I did it behind. Trying to sort of create like an illusion of depth. It's quite hard to do that. It's quite hard. Also, I didn't put any lines around the edge of the rainbow, so I thought I'd see what it looked like. I think I'm going to put lines on the rainbows in the future. This one, the little rainbow, the little penguin, it's a tiny, tiny little penguin with a big penguin. I had to practice that a few times as well to make it look like he was bending over. It's quite hard, that. This one, day 145, the tin penguin. So I've created these things here called peng-tins. Peng-tins, penguins in a tin. Because I thought, what rhymes with penguin? Tin. So I sort of got the word first, and then I tried to come up with an idea for that. So there's a little penguin, and there's penguins inside of a tin. Quite funny. And this was the day 146, the penny penguin. Again, I was trying to play with words, so I got the word penny penguin, and then I thought, why don't I create a little penguin on a penny? Looks like the Queen. It's quite fun, that. And then this one, day 147, the final penguin. So this is actually Peter, little Peter and Dennis, little Dennis. And so little Dennis, the doggy, he's going to be March's little animal, and this is the last penguin. And basically he's dead. Little Peter's dead. I like little Dennis there. That's quite cool. And then March we have little doggies, but that'll be next month's video. So what I'll do on the first week of March, the first Wednesday of March, I'll look at my little doggy drawings. I haven't done today's yet. I've got to do today's. I think the word I come up with in my sketchbook was blogging. The blogging doggy. But I don't know what I'm going to do. So it's either going to be a doggy writing on a computer as if he's blogging, or maybe he'll be blogging in a book or something. But let's go through the little sketchbook. So I'll bring the thing up a bit. I did quite a lot in my sketchbook this month. So I come up with the puppet penguin. At first I was going to put him in a little scene, but then I thought on his own it wasn't going to be exciting enough. So what I did was I gave him a pencil, and he looks like a sort of warrior. It's quite funny. Then come up with that. The biscuit penguin. In England we have these biscuits called penguins, and I thought I could just draw a biscuit penguin. I never did that one though, because I don't know, the bookmark penguin. So that I was going to make it that angle, then I was going to have it like that, as if a penguin was. I ended up going with a different one at a weird angle. The fat penguin. I didn't do that one. This is the first day at school penguin. I was going to have lighter penguins in the background, as if there's going to be like friends for him. I didn't do that though. The party penguin. I didn't do that one. I turned that one into the DJ penguin in the end. What's that? The positive penguin. There's going to be a penguin in the shape of a plus, like a positive. There's one I didn't do, the heart penguin. I kept doing that because I really wanted to do the biscuit penguin, but I was going to do a monkey penguin. There's going to be a monkey and a penguin mixed together. I should have done that one. Combine animals. the deep sea diving penguin. I turned that into the exploring penguin. The panties penguin. That would have been funny. This was going to be the... Yeah, on the sketchbook I did make it like a Russian doll, but when I turned it into the finished drawing, for some reason I forgot. The postman penguin. The puddle penguin. I did my little thumbnails again. That's quite funny shape. Be more mindful of little details. See, because afterwards I realised I'd missed that. Yeah. Windy. I was going to do the artist penguin. Fuzzy, fluffy, big-headed. I was going to do a big-headed penguin, but I just couldn't make it look any good, really. Penguin in bed there. I don't know what that was. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle penguin. This is a weird one, look. I don't know where that come from. I've got the shits penguin. There's going to be a penguin on the toilet. I didn't do that one there. I come up with some weird ideas sometimes. That's ideas from our website if you want to have a look. Testing out the colours because I wasn't sure what colour to make him. The tree friend penguin. I think April's animal is going to be bunnies for like Easter eggs. Easter bunny, so it's going to be the bunnies for next month. I've put here, amazing how much the car shadow puts the character in the scene. I started noticing that. Like that little bit of shadow there, it sort of, yeah, it adds a lot. It's quite weird that. I've only just started doing that. So my original characters, they always looked a bit like they were floating in space. Yeah, they always looked like there was never shadows. And I've started putting shadows in now. So they look a lot more like they're in the scene. So it's hard to scribble and not hit the lines. So that little sort of style where you're just scribbling, I found it quite hard to not go over the lines. So even though it's very sketchy, you've still got to sort of have control. It's quite weird that, because you would think that would be... I'll tell you what would be quite good actually. Maybe doing it and purposely going over the lines. That would be cool, because then it would look like the colour is moving. I might try that. And I've put here, drawing the same shape soon becomes second nature, which I love that as well. Any other notes here? Be more mindful of little details. I really enjoyed these, I've said. Tangents. Yeah, there's this thing called tangents where, let's see if I've got an example. Well, the doggy's got a good example. This lead on the doggy, at first I had the lead going and touching the bottom of his ear, but what they say on SVS Learn Again, they said about tangents, you want to be mindful of all the lines and where the lines are intercepting other lines. So like on this one I've left space underneath the lead and above it, so what it does is it makes it look like the lead is in front of the dog, but if that line hit one of these other lines, like the ear or his belly, what it would do is it would take away the 3D-ness. And I just noticed this month that I was really mindful of all the tangents. Here's a good example. So I drew this one, and then once I'd drawn it, I realised his hand was touching the bottom of the branch. So I realised that there was a tangent, but I realised it a bit too late. So what I did was I made the branch bigger and like tried to hide the mistake by colouring it in. So from a distance it doesn't look too bad, but that's when I'm like, it's weird, when you're trying to learn something, I've noticed you'll notice a bit too late sometimes. Yeah, you'll notice that a bit too late. At some point in the future, I'd imagine, you'll be mindful of these tangents, like before you've put the finished line down. It's quite fun, I think. And that was it. Testing out colours. Super aware of tangents, I've put. Really playing with perspective. I started using a 0.05 pencil. I did that with this little one. Where is it? That little penguin. This little penguin. I used a 0.05 pencil pen, like a fine liner. So that's another tool I'm using now. And then, yeah, there's another one. Some questionable ideas. I've got the shits penguin, dirty doggy, and trouser worm. So when I did the worms in, I think it was December or November, I came up with an idea of a trouser worm, but I didn't do that. So I've noticed some of my ideas are a bit risky, I suppose, and then I always pull back from doing them. But I wonder whether I should actually embrace these sort of naughty ideas. The dirty doggy, because he's going to be a dirty doggy, like basically being a naughty doggy. Here's the idea, dirty doggy. I think you get the idea of that. I might do that, I'm not sure. And that's it, basically. Amazing how much the car shadow grounds the character. I love that. So I really enjoyed this. I think this was my favourite month. I seem to be saying that every month, but I think it was. And so far, these doggies, I'm really enjoying these doggies as well. So it's quite fun. My favourite is penguin, I think, was this one, because it's the first time I came up with a style. And what it made me realise was, they say you shouldn't try to create a style. The style will come to you, and I love that, because like I said, this style I've got the influence from Yoshi's Island. So I think if you keep consuming things, like for instance this book, I'm going to do a quick look of it and consume the artwork, and I'm sure one day in the future there might be something that this artist does that will find a way into my art. So look how beautiful that image is. It's amazing. I can't wait to get into this book. But I hope you enjoyed that, and little Peter, he was the star of this month. He definitely enjoyed himself this month, but I'll see you later for another one. Hope you enjoyed it.